Montessori Grandma. Episode 37. Montessori Botany Classified Nomenclature.
The Montessori Botany Program for 6 to 12-year-olds, Part 1. A Montessori lesson, retold and presented by Geeta Vijayachandran.
The study of botany starts with the story of life. In the timeline of life, we can see plants came before animals. They first appeared in water and then moved on to land. They use sunlight, air, water, and minerals to make food. This is used by animals and humans as food. Let us take a look around us. We can see plants in different colors, sizes, shapes, and uses. Every part of a plant has a different role to play. We will look at these in the coming lessons. Plants are very special. They can survive in any weather. Some live in cold areas, others in drought areas, while some like humidity. Wherever they live in one spot and cannot move. The children leave them and never return to them. Flowers attract insects and birds with the vibrant colors of their petals and the gorgeous scent. Insects and birds bring pollen to other plants and help establish new colonies. One seed grows into a plant and it will send many seeds into the world. Plant life goes on in this way, giving us oxygen, food, and shade. Some plants are used as medicines also.
The Botany Lesson Plan. First comes nomenclature and story cards of all parts of a plant. Second, we have the first knowledge of plant kingdom, which is done with labels, story cards, and question answer cards. Then the third is the first classification of the plant kingdom. Fourth comes plant physiology with experiments and botany charts. The botany nomenclature cards. These have the parts of the leaf, stem, roots, flower, fruit, and seed. There are 35 folders, 35 wall charts, and 35 booklets. Categorized according to the parts of a plant, and they are kept in the environment in two containers. The general organization of the material must have a system in which you can add new things. Make sure you have sufficient cards stock. The information goes from the whole to the parts. Nomenclature helps with classification of plants. Only need to put out the information you are working on. Must organize the cards in some way. Here are the suggested colors. There are 7 series, 4 series in the first container and 3 series in the second container. The first container deals with the vegetative functions of plants, that is circulation, respiration, and nutrition. Vegetative function means the life functions that enable plants to survive. The series are plant as a whole is in dark green in the first folder. The second and third folders deals with roots and are colored light green. The folders 4 to 8 are in dark brown and deals with stems. Folders 9 to 21 are in light green and deals with leaves. And altogether there are 21 folders, 21 booklets, and 21 wall charts in the first container. The second container deals with reproduction of plants, that is flowers, fruits, and seeds. Reproduction of plants is for the survival of the species. It deals with flowers, which are, the folder is in red, and there are 9 folders from 22 to 30. The next one, folders 31 to 33, is in yellow and deals with fruits. Folders 34 and 35 is in gray and deals with seeds. The folders have picture cards, name labels, and definition cards. So 14 folders, 14 booklets, and 14 wall charts in the second container. What is a 3-period lesson? It is also called a named lesson. 3 periods or stages are used when we present the material. Use any 3 pictures initially. That is, here I have given an example, a lily, a rose, and a geranium. You use 2 pictures known to the child and 1 unknown. The first period or first stage, this is what we do. Show the picture or the real lily and say, this is a lily. Lily. This is a rose. Rose. This is a geranium. Geranium. In the second period or stage, we give instructions. Keep the geranium here. Take the lily in your hand. Give the rose to your friend. Hide the rose. Keep the geranium under the lid, and so on. This is the longest of the 3 periods. You can make it interesting by giving exciting instructions. Once the children can follow the instructions clearly and without any error, move on to the next step or the next stage. This is the third stage or third period. This stage is to check if the child can relate the name to the object. What is this? It's a rose. What is this? Geranium. What is this? Lily. Once the children know these names, add on a new object and continue. Keep adding new objects and removing objects that the child knows. At one time, have no more than 5 or 6 objects. Presentation 1. Plant. The material we need is a small plant uprooted, maybe a weed. Show the plant. This is a plant. It is a living thing. Animals eat plants. We eat plants. This plant is also like a big tree. This may be small, but it still has all the parts that a tree has. Look at this part. It was below the soil. I had to take it out of the soil. This is the root. Every plant, big or small, has roots. Now look at this part that comes out of the soil and grows up and up. This is called the stem. As the stem grows, its branches out. They are all stems and we call them branches. We have this part which is green. They are called leaves. This plant has leaf always. So this plant has roots, stem, branches and leaves. If the child asks about flowers, we can say flowers are actually transformation of leaves. Move on to the next part. This is the center of the plant which goes up and also down. This gives a structure to the plant and is called the axis of the plant. Next, we move on to the second and to the third periods.
Parts of a plant, nomenclature and story cards. We need to make picture cards with labels and description of parts. Here is an example. You can see a tree, which you can see a tree with a label, and you can see a tree and then a label which is separated out. Then you can see the roots colored out, and then you have the roots with the label and the label separate. So this is a way we make it where the part we are talking about is highlighted.
The second presentation of the plant. The material is classified nomenclature, that is folder 1, wall chart, booklet of the plant. We can now offer the nomenclature. The child lays out cards, reads the labels and matches it to the picture. Next, use a wall chart to check the pictures and labels. Read the booklets. Once we have done the plant parts, then we move on to each part. Here we do the parts of a leaf. So you can see the 3-part card, which you can see a leaf, which is having the picture and the label on it. Then you can have a picture of a leaf only and then the label separate. Then you can see the petiole, with a name and label, and you can see the picture separated out from the label, and you have the whole picture of a parts of a leaf. This is like a checkpoint. In this, we go on to details about the leaf. Then we look at veins, the different types of veins. Then we look at the shapes, then the arrangement of the leaf. Then we look at the edges, and then we look at the arrangement of the leaves on the stem.
The next is to look at the parts of a stem. So here we look into all the different parts of a stem. We also look at different stems, which are woody stems and herbaceous stems. And we also look at different plants, which are trees, shrubs, herbs, climbers, and creepers. Different types of stems are looked at, which are underground stem, aerial stem, and subaerial stem. We also look at fleshy underground stems, that is like ginger, palm, onion, potatoes, etc.
So look at the parts of the root, the primary root, secondary root, root hairs, and root cap.
The types of roots are looked at, that is taproot and fibrous root. Then we look at swollen roots. Most of these are used as food. We also look at flowers and its parts. We look at fruit and parts. The last part we look at is the seed and its parts.
In the third presentation of a plant, we look at the purpose of the parts. The materials we need is a real plant, nomenclature, that is a wall chart, folders, and booklet. This is how we present it. We show the plant and ask, what is this? A plant. Review the work done earlier where the child identifies root, stem, leaves, axis of the plant, and branches. You know the parts of the plant, but now let's look at what the plant uses the parts for.
We next look at basic functions of each part of plant. Roots, the part of a plant that grows under the ground. Roots take in water and food, and they hold the plant in the soil. The stem, the main part of a plant that supports the branches, leaves, and other parts. Leaves, a flat part of a plant or tree that grows from the stem or branch. Flowers are the reproductive parts of plants. They often have showy petals and fragrance to attract pollinators such as birds, bees, and other insects.
Let's look at functions in detail now. Let's look at the roots. The roots grow in the soil. They grow downwards looking for food and nourishment. What they need for nourishment is mineral salts. Plants absorb the mineral salts that are dissolved in the water in the soil. The roots send out a kind of acid which helps absorb the mineral salts. In order to absorb this, there should be lots of water with the mineral salts dissolved in it. Roots grow downwards and they are sensitive to the force of gravity, and it's down below that they find water. They grow down and spread out in the soil according to the direction of water. The roots are an important part of the plant as they also help the plant fix or anchor itself to the soil. The roots also do another work for other beings. They hold the soil and prevent soil erosion and landslides. This is the cosmic work of roots. The roots seek the dark and grow downwards. Do the same way with the other parts also. Let's look at the leaf. Most of the plants have green leaves, and this is because they have chlorophyll and they make up the foliage. The leaves give beauty to the plant, but also the parts of the plant are very important. The leaves are very important as they do breathing for the plants. So it's like the lungs of the plant. The leaves are an extraordinary part of the plant. They also do the eating, digestion of the plant. In every leaf, there is a transformation that takes place in the presence of sunlight in order to nourish themselves. The sap rises up through the stem to the leaves, and the leaves transform the sap into food for the plant. Let's look at stem now. The stem grows towards the light and grows upwards. There is a watery substance inside the stem called sap. The sap is really the mineral salts that have been absorbed by the root and are being taken to the leaves. These canals or channels of the stem carry mineral salts to the leaves. The stem is therefore important for the circulation of the sap. The stem is also important in holding the plant and balancing in an equilibrium. The stem and branches bear the leaves. The axis of the plant. This is a stem which holds a plant in equilibrium. Plants take in inorganic substances and changes it into organic substances. Plants make their own food. We can move on to second and third period now. The second period, we ask questions like, what is that part of the plant that fixes a plant to the soil? Can you show me the part of the plant that grows upwards and what is it called? What does it do? Can you show me the lungs of the plant? And so on. Let us look at fruits. Fruits are the fleshy substances that usually surround seeds. A fruit is a ripened ovary and associated bits containing seeds. They protect the seeds and attract animals to eat them. This helps in seed dispersal. And what are seeds? A seed is a ripened ovule containing the embryo and enough stored food to sustain it through the process of germination. This means the seed contains plant material that can develop into another plant. Seeds are broadly classified into two main types based on their structure: monocotyledon, which we call monocot, and dicotyledon, which is called dicot seeds. We have already looked at all the parts of the plant in detail. So now we come to the next topic, which is the first knowledge of the plant kingdom. And in this, there are 32 pictures of plants with labels and story cards. When we offer 5 to 8 picture cards at a time with their labels. Then we can move on to the 3-period lesson to do this. Once children are familiar with the names, offer more picture cards. Later, introduce the story cards. The final work is to label all the plants and match the story cards to the plants. And then there are more activities which we will look at in the next video. This takes us to the end of the Botany classified nomenclature. Thank you for watching. This is Geeta Vijayachandran signing off.
Montessori Grandma.